Hello, what up my people? Welcome back to my channel once again. So today I'm going to be sharing my trade recap as usual. We're going to be starting our trade recap from um on Monday, September 22nd to let's see to be sure of the date that the market closed. From Monday 22nd 2025, from Monday September 22nd 2025 to Friday 26th September 2025. So that's 5 trading weeks. So going straight into the recap, I would start from London session, because that very day I didn't take Asian session trade. But hadn't been I was up on Asian session trade. It was a nice move for Asian session, but I did not take Asian session trade, because if I would have taken Asian session trade, if we look at this particular zone here, it is around 1245 and it actually created a support here, and all these particular candles did not touch this particular support. So what would I call this? A support lying on my psychological level. And when the market came, boom, immediately tapped into the psychological level and went straight to the next zone. But I wasn't awake this very day, and even if I was awake this very day, I didn't have a plan to take trade for Asian session. But my surplus would have been here. It would have actually given us a nice 5:1 RR. But I didn't take that trade. I didn't take the trade. I waited for London session, and luckily enough, because we are always lucky, because when hard work meets luck, at the end of the day, they call it luck, but it's part of hard work. And so irrespective, I took this trade at around 9:30 a.m. Can you see? Let's just say 9 a.m. After London opened, I saw a nice resistance with a nice liquidity on it. This particular candle did not mitigate. Let me get my listing. This particular candle did not mitigate this resistance, so I was already waiting that, okay, irrespective if the market comes in, it's going to tap into this resistance and maybe probably drive this trade down to this particular support on the 15 minutes time frame. But the market decided not to respect that and actually took me out immediately I entered that market. So starting the new week with an SL, but we persisted and still continued trading that very day. So after I took this SL, I waited for New York session. Now if you look at, this is actually London session, the ones with green, this is London session. So that very day on New York session, I was waiting for the overlap of both London session and New York session to get a volume. Immediately I changed my bias, because that very day I was looking for shorts, but immediately I was taken out. It gave me a nice indication that that very day was going to be bullish. So irrespective, I waited for this particular support to be tapped in, but I used my confluence for both psychological level and this support, because at the end of the day, that very day I was expecting this market to tap in on the 5 minutes time frame. I caught this trade on the 5 minutes time frame, not the 15 minutes time frame. So let's go to the 5 minutes time frame and see the confluences we saw before I entered that New York session trade. Okay, so this is what I saw on the New York session trade. Where are you? Okay, so on the 5 minutes time frame, this is what it looks like. But on the 15 minutes time frame, it gave us a clear resistance. But on the 5 minutes time frame, hadn't been I saw all this formation on the 5 minutes time frame, I wouldn't have taken this trade. But that very day I sticked to the 15 minutes time frame, because I was seeing a nice setup on the 15 minutes time frame. These are things I'm trying to work on myself with. I'm really trying to work on myself on making sure that I join the 2 time frames, because sometimes I get carried away when I saw a nice setup and I don't go to the next time frame. I don't go lower. Or sometimes when I'm on 15 minutes time frame, I don't go lower to the 5 minutes time frame to see better confluence. Sometimes when I'm on the 5 minutes time frame, I don't go lower to the 15 minutes higher to the 15 minutes time frame to see and compare the both time frame, and that actually plays a vital role. That plays a very, very vital role. So this very day, after I lost this particular trade, yes, I knew that I lost the trade, but I was waiting for a retest. Number one, we had two confluence. This is an order block with displacement already here. Let me take this out. This is a nice order block with nice displacement. We have a fair value gap here, or you call it imbalance, anyone, that it was left here and it wasn't mitigated. So the first time it came, it mitigated the first fair value gap. Why I did not take it immediately was that I was waiting for an overlap of both London session and New York session. After it manipulated people, still came back again to take people out. Can you see? It still came back to take people out. Immediately I saw this, the creation of this order block with this nice displacement. I was ready that, okay, this market is still coming back to retest this order block on the New York session, and that was what happened. But I entered at this particular level here on my psychological level. What did the market do? Gave me a little bit drawdown, but at the end of the day, started moving my way, and it actually gave me a nice 3:1 RR. So we finished Monday with a nice 1 SL and 1 TP, and it was actually a nice trade for Monday. So we moved to Tuesday. Tuesday also gave us a nice confluence, because that very Tuesday I saw a confluence. If you actually know about structure very well, I actually make sure I use structure to the last call. Now, if you look at this particular highs, this highs was not taken out, but irrespective, it still went bullish. But before we get to this, why I took this trade on the 15 minutes time frame. Now, for me, I was seeing this as a support for me. Because this is around 4:45 a.m. Let's just say 5 a.m. And if you know my strategy, sometimes I normally look for manipulations within that Asian session before London session. But today, that very day, I was wrong, and it's normal. So I saw this as my support, I saw this as my resistance, and because I saw this, there was a previous day high here, and I saw this as my resistance, and the market came, also took me out that very day. Now, as I was taking out, immediately I switched my buyers to bullish again. After I was taking out here, I was waiting for a retest of this particular previous day high, and what happened that very time, I will go back to the 5 minutes time frame. I caught that particular trade on the 5 minutes time frame, and this was what happened. On the 5 minutes time frame, we have a clear order block. Can you see it here? Clear order block with liquidity. This particular candle did not mitigate this order block, and it was a high probability for me. And if you look at very well, I actually caught the trade on the London session. This is the London session trade, and immediately the market came, tapped into this order block, and it started giving us immediate 5:1 RR, and that was how we finished Monday and Tuesday with also 1 SL, 1 TP. And after this particular trade, I didn't even take the New York session trade anymore. I just left Tuesday like that. And going to Wednesday, I caught this trade on the 30 minutes time frame. So let's go to the 30 minutes time frame to see what happened at this particular junction here. It was a quick scalp, and I exited that trade based on this psychological level, and my instincts was right. I caught that particular trade at Asian session. That's why you will notice that the move wasn't much. So this is my own resistance here, not a support. Sorry, it is a resistance, not a support. So when I saw this particular resistance here, with this liquidity, this particular candle did not tap into this resistance. My sell limit was on this place already, and this trade was caught around 2 a.m. sharp. And what I was targeting was this particular next psychological zone, because it's actually a reaction zone. And when the market came, tapped into this 30 minutes resistance, trust me, I was even sleeping this very day. I was sleeping, and when it tapped in, my TP, my SL were all set, and I just woke up to see that the trade went my way. And that very morning, I still stick to the 30 minutes time frame. I stick to the 30 minutes time frame because I saw this clear order block with nice displacement, and I saw that it is also lying on my psychological level, my reaction level, and that was what happened. Why I exited at this point was because of this lone support here, because normally I look for obstructions. If you normally watch my trade recap, I look for obstructions, and this was part of my obstruction. And immediately the market came, tapped into my order block, and immediately gave me a 6:1 RR. Why it is a 6:1 RR was because my SL was at this top here, but immediately the market tapped me in. I reduced my risk immediately because this is actually a London session trade. This is a London session trade. As you can see here, I stick to the 30 minutes time frame, and that was how I was able to catch this trade. Now, why was I looking for a buy here? Because of this support. This particular support is lying on this same support also. I have two supports on the 30 minutes time frame. So my anticipation was that the market was also going to come back, tap into this order block before it starts coming down. But the market just gave me reaction and reacted out of this particular fair value gap here. Can you see? The market reacted out of this fair value, this imbalance here. Reacted out of this imbalance and started moving. Already it gave me around a 1:1 RR, 2:1 RR, but was waiting to hit TP, and the market reversed on me. So that very day, that was how I caught these two trades and one SL. So on that same Wednesday, I saw a break of my psychological level, and I was waiting for a retest. Break of my psychological level, and I was waiting for a retest on the same 30 minutes time frame. I didn't even go lower. But let's go to the 15 minutes time frame to see, because yes, I knew that I went to the 15 minutes time frame so that I could be sure of that retest, but I did not go lower, and that was what happened here. The market came, retest that psychological level, and came down. So that very Wednesday, I caught 4 trades. One in Asian session, one in London session, the second one beginning of that's New York Open, and the other one in I entered this particular second trade at around 4:15 p.m. That's New York session, and I caught 4 trades, caught 3 TPs and 1 SL. That was how we finished Wednesday with some nice trades also. So now going to the next trade. This particular trade, I caught this trade on the 1 hour time frame. Yes, I can remember. I caught it on the 1 hour time frame. Now, why did I enter that trade on the 1 hour time frame? Let's look at it. 1 hour time frame. No, I'm not sure. Let's go to the 30 minutes time frame. I think it's the 30 minutes time frame. Let's leave it on the 30 minutes time frame. Now, I caught this trade on the 30 minutes time frame. That's true. On the 30 minutes time frame. With this particular pullback, I was waiting for this particular pullback. But that was the confluence actually. I was waiting for this particular pullback. But irrespective, the market and my SL was above these particular spikes. It was above these spikes. And when the market decided to do its thing, it came to almost this particular point and reversed. Instead of tapping into this psychological level, he reversed. And when I started seeing the reverse, I knew the market was coming to probably test this particular weak line here, this particular weak line. And when the market came, retested the weak line immediately and started giving me a straight 2:1 RR. If it is on the 15 minutes time frame, it's supposed to give me, I was supposed to actually tighten my stop loss. But this is one thing I've learned. Allow your trade to breathe. Give your trades breathing space. You see, a lot of people tend to want to show off on social media that I had a tight stop loss. But at the end of the day, with that tight stop loss, you end up being taken out. Who cares? Who cares? Probably you are trading not because of yourself, because of what people will see, and that doesn't make sense. So that very day, I ended this New York session with a 2:1 RR. Now, after this trade played out, I used fib level. Now, how did I use this fib level? This is my swing high and this is my swing low. I marked from my swing high here to my swing low, and I was waiting for a tap of this particular 0.5 level, and that was what happened. Now, this particular trade, mind you, I didn't take this trade. If you go to my X, I indicated it while journaling on my X that I didn't take this trade. I did not take this trade. Why I didn't take this trade was because I had a nice trade that I have caught already, and I was preserving my capital because gold can be very funny. Yes, I like using fib level. I've backtested fib level so much that I have enough confidence about fib level. But that very day, my psychology was not strong enough that I didn't take this trade. I did not. And that trade immediately gave us a 9:1, a 5:1 RR. But I didn't take the trade. I always say this. It's not about hindsight, but it's about the journaling, making sure that you journal to know that this is what you did, not to be lying to yourself. Lying to yourself is the biggest thing you would do on trading that would actually slow down your journey. So I didn't take this trade. And the next trade, I took this particular trade, but on the 5 minutes time frame, and it was a quick scalp, very quick scalp, because the confluence were complete. My psychological level, my liquidity, they were all available. All of them were available, and that was what I did. I took this as my liquidity because it did not tap into this psychological level, and immediately the market came, tapped into the psychological level, and gave me immediate 3:1 RR. Quite alright, I'm not supposed to say it gave me a 3:1 RR because it's a quick scalp. It's a quick scalp, and immediately I closed at this particular junction of support level here. And trust me, immediately I closed, the market reversed. That's why I call it a quick scalp. So that was how that very day I took this trade, and we all ended up in profits for Thursday. Now going to Friday. Friday was very choppy, and I ended up in loss. I lost a trade on Friday. Now I took this trade on the 30 minutes time frame. Was it on the 30 minutes time frame? No, I think it's on the 15 minutes time frame. It's the 15 minutes time frame. Are we sure? Let's still go back to the 5 minutes time frame because line I marked. Okay, it's on the 15 minutes time frame. It is on the 15 minutes time frame. Now, why did I take this trade? This is the double engulfing candle here. And if you look at this particular candle, it did not mitigate this resistance. This candle did not mitigate this resistance. That is my confluence. I make things very simple. very simple. And what happened on that particular trade? The market came, tapped me in. That's why I reduced it to the 50% of my psychological level. Tapped me in, gave me immediate 1:1 RR, almost 2:1 RR. Almost 2:1 RR. Can you see? He gave me 2:1 RR. But I was waiting for TP because it is a New York session trade. I was waiting for TP, but I did not take that particular. I didn't take that profit at 2:1 RR. I was waiting for full TP, and the market came and reversed on me and took me out. And that very Friday, I took only one trade, and it ended up on an SL. So that is how I finished this week with this trade, and I'll be counting my trades. How did those trades finish? So let's go. Let's count our trades that we took that very week. So the first trade, okay, this is the first SL of the week. We got this as an SL TP, so 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 3-2, 4-2, 4-3, 5-3. No. I think I made a mistake while counting. 1 SL, 1 TP, 1-1, 2 SL, 2 TP, 2-2, 3 TP, 2 SL, 4 TP, 2 SL, 4 TP, 3 SL, 5 TP, 3 SL, 6 TP, 3 SL, 7 TP, 3 SL, 8 TP, 3 SL, 8 TP, 4 SL. So we got 8 TP and 4 SL. So that is how we finish this particular trade, this particular trading week in profit. So that is it for that, and I want to actually say it based on my journaling. I've been watching ICC, and I've been gaining more knowledge on ICC. That's why at some point in this particular week, I had some kind of decisions that did not actually go based on my trading plan. And I'm very sure that I've been able to gather enough knowledge and information, which this next trading week I will be implementing few of this particular knowledge on the charts, because I've seen what I need to see. So thanks for watching my trade recap, guys, and I'm gonna see you guys on the next one. Peace out.